Welcome to the Holy Way. Today, we're reflecting on the readings for the 33rd Sunday in Ordinary Time. First reading, a reading from the prophet Daniel. At that time Michael will stand up, the great prince who mounts guard over your people. There is going to be a time of great distress, unparalleled since nations first came into existence. When that time comes, your own people will be spared, all those whose names are found written in the book. Of those who lie sleeping in the dust of the earth, many will awake, some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting disgrace. The learned will shine as brightly as the vault of heaven, and those who have instructed many in virtue as bright as stars for all eternity. The word of the Lord. Responsorial Psalm. Preserve me, God, I take refuge in you. O Lord, it is you who are my portion and cup. It is you yourself who are my prize. I keep the Lord ever in my sight. Since he is at my right hand, I shall stand firm. Preserve me, God, I take refuge in you. And so my heart rejoices, my soul is glad, even my body shall rest in safety. For you will not leave my soul among the dead, nor let your beloved know decay. Preserve me, God, I take refuge in you. You will show me the path of life, the fullness of joy in your presence. At your right hand, happiness forever. Preserve me, God, I take refuge in you. Second reading, a reading from the letter to the Hebrews. All the priests stand at their duties every day, offering over and over again the same sacrifices which are quite incapable of taking sins away. He, on the other hand, has offered one single sacrifice for sins, and then taken his place forever at the right hand of God, where he is now waiting until his enemies are made into a footstool for him. By virtue of that one single offering, he has achieved the eternal perfection of all whom he is sanctifying. When all sins have been forgiven, there can be no more sin offerings. The word of the Lord. Gospel, a reading from the Gospel according to St. Mark. Jesus said to his disciples, "In those days, after the time of distress, the sun will be darkened, the moon will lose its brightness, the stars will come falling from heaven, and the powers in the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. Then too, he will send the angels to gather his chosen from the four winds, from the ends of the world to the ends of heaven. Then too, he will send the angels to gather his chosen from the four winds, from the ends of the world to the ends of heaven. So with you, when you see these things happening, know that he is near at the very gates. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. But as for that day or hour, nobody knows it, neither the angels of heaven nor the Son, no one but the Father." The Gospel of the Lord. Today's readings remind us of the certainty of God's justice, the hope of eternal life, and the call to live with unwavering faith and readiness. The first reading from Daniel acknowledges the reality of suffering, but assures us that God will ultimately rescue and vindicate his faithful. This vision of resurrection and eternal glory gives us hope, even in times of great distress. It also challenges us to live lives of virtue, shining brightly as witnesses to God's love and truth. The responsorial psalm reinforces this message by inviting us to take refuge in God. Our hope is secure in his promise of eternal life, and the joy of his presence sustains us even in the face of death. The psalmist's confidence in God's faithfulness inspires us to trust him with every aspect of our lives. In the Gospel, Jesus' words about the end times call us to be spiritually vigilant. While the exact timing of his return is unknown, the signs of his coming remind us to be prepared. This means living each day in alignment with his will, trusting in his word, which will never pass away. The second reading assures us that Christ's sacrifice has already paved the way for our salvation. Our task is to live in the light of that grace, sharing His love and truth with others. As we approach the end of the liturgical year, these readings challenge us to examine our priorities. Are we living with an eternal perspective, aware that this life is temporary and that Christ will return? Let us recommit ourselves to following Him wholeheartedly, confident in the hope of resurrection and eternal life.
Thank you for joining us. If you found this reflection meaningful, please like the video and subscribe to our channel for more daily readings and reflections. Share your prayer intentions in the comments below so that our community can keep you in their prayers. Stay blessed.